Yo, what's the word, boys? Welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my last minute UFC 305 predictions on the main card. And I know I haven't posted in 2 weeks. I was on vacation. I couldn't post, but I'm back at the setup and I'm trying to post videos pretty much as consistently as I can. And I just got dental work done, so I can barely speak. However, I have to get this video out. Let's start off at the bottom. Holy shit, this hurts to talk, but we're going to do it. Fuck it. Li Jingliang versus Carlos Prates. It's not going to be a long video either. Give me Carlos Prates by first round KO. Li Jingliang is coming back after a very, very long layoff. And stylistically, I do believe this is kind of a nightmare matchup for him. Carlos Prates has amazing anti-grappling and wrestling, so I don't believe Li Jingliang will be able to get the fight to the ground. Carlos Prates is much faster than him on the feet. He has more power, and he's going to knock him out in this fight. I'd be very, very, very shocked if Li Jingliang is to win. I see Carlos Prates backing up Li Jingliang up against the cage. He has that massive reach advantage. As you could see down there, I see him backing him up and then knocking him out in the first round. Li Jingliang's movement isn't great. He is pretty slow. And then against Carlos Prates, you simply cannot do that. He is a sniper on the feet. And stylistically, as I said, he is a nightmare matchup for Li Jingliang. I still am excited for this fight. I'm actually a big fan of both guys, but I see Prates getting this fight done pretty easily. Moving up the card, Jairzinho Rosenstrike and Tai Tuivasa. Another interesting fight, but quite easy to predict. It's going to be a heavyweight slugfest, but I am going to go with Jairzinho Rosenstrike by first round KO. In terms of technical strikers, Jairzinho Rosenstrike is at the top of that heavyweight division. Tai Tuivasa is coming back after 5 straight losses. Jairzinho, I do believe, is actually quite underrated. All of his losses in the UFC are against some of the best heavyweights on the roster. Francis Ngannou, Alexander Volkov, Cyril Gane, etc., etc. Yeah, Tai Tuivasa could land a bomb. It's a heavyweight division, and it's Tai Tuivasa. Sure, but I do believe in this fight, the correct pick is Jairzinho Rosenstrike. He is a very accomplished kickboxer, more technical than Tai Tuivasa. Both guys have a lot of power. I do believe Jairzinho Rosenstrike will pick his shots better. He'll back up Tai Tuivasa. He'll use that 3-inch reach advantage, and I do see him getting it done in the first round. Tai Tuivasa, I know the past few fights, the grappling has been, the problem for him, but he's not a better striker than Jairzinho Rosenstrike. Rosenstrike has the power, so I do believe Jairzinho Rosenstrike will win by first round KO. This hurts like a bitch to talk, but we're going to keep going. Moving up the card, Fuck me. All right, here we go. Mateusz Gamrot versus Dan Hooker. I don't even know if I'm allowed to really speak that much. I don't know what the fuck the dentist said, but Mateusz Gamrot versus Dan Hooker. Upset alert. Give me Dan Hooker by second round TKO. Mateusz Gamrot is very, very good. I'm actually switching my pick to Dan Hooker. The timing of his takedowns are amazing. This is Mateusz Gamrot I'm talking about. Has some of the best time takedowns in the UFC. His striking, I think, has improved as his career has gone on. But Dan Hooker gives him some problems, in my opinion. His takedown defense is pretty solid. I know Gamrot could take down guys like Jalen Turner, yada, yada, yada. But I do believe since Dan Hooker is a little bit of a I wouldn't say smaller, but he isn't as big as Jalen Turner, so his center of gravity will help him keep this fight on the feet. I know Gamrot's going to be spamming those takedowns, but Dan Hooker's knee up the middle is very, very dangerous, and I do see him catching Gamrot with that knee up the middle. I know when Gamrot fought Fiziev, who's also a very dangerous striker, can do a lot of things, Gamrot wasn't so pressed for the takedown. So if Dan Hooker could implement front kicks up the middle, teep kicks, any kicks up the middle, knees up the middle, it'll get Gamrot thinking a lot more. And if Hooker could do that, I do believe he'll find success on the feet. He has an 80% takedown defense, so I do believe it will be enough. I see Gamrot getting the fight to the ground at one point in the fight, but I do believe Dan Hooker's anti-grappling should be enough, and I do believe the knee up the middle is going to be the massive thing for him in this fight. He also has a good reach advantage, so if the fight's in the center of the octagon, if it's just a striking battle, I absolutely do favor Dan Hooker. He's not scared to get into a war. He's not scared to get hit to deliver a strike, and against Mateusz Gamrot, you kind of want to do that. So in this fight, give me Dan Hooker by second round TKO via knee. I think he's going to catch him with that knee up the middle. Fuck. Okay, let's move on. Kai Kara-France versus Steve Erceg. Upset alert. Give me Kai Kara-France. I originally had Steve Erceg, but I do believe Kai Kara-France is the most underrated flyweight at the top of the roster because I do believe his striking is on par to Steve Erceg. I like his combinations a little bit more. He's more fluid in his strikes. He's a more well-rounded fighter. I do believe Kai Kara-France can get this fight to the ground if he wants. It's only a 3-round fight, so he's not going to have too much time to work, but if he's, throwing a lot of combinations, going to the body, to the head, maybe. He used a lot of feints. He does use a lot of feints, so if he can mix in those feints, the grappling, I do believe he can find success against Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg's takedown defense is not the greatest thing in the world. I'm not saying Kai Kara-France has the grappling of an Alessandro Pantoja, but his striking is better. If he can mix in all these different things, get Steve Erceg thinking about a lot of different strikes, feints, takedowns, I do believe he can implement that into his game. In terms of striking, they're very similar strikers. I'd say medium volume. They have power. They're good inside the pocket. But I do believe Kai Kara-France kind of nullifies Steve Erceg's game. I do believe Kai Kara-France can, pitter-pat on the outside a little bit better than Steve Erceg, and he can hold his own inside the pocket. So I do believe Kai Kara-France can win a lot of the exchanges. I do see him using his feints, maybe using the takedown. I'm not too sure. And I do believe Kai Kara-France is the more well-rounded fighter, the more well-rounded striker, and I do believe he is going to get it done against Steve Erceg. I am a big Steve Erceg fan, and I do believe he beat Alessandro Pantoja, but stylistically, I do think Kai Kara-France, especially in the striking department, can give him a lot of problems. So give me Kai Kara-France by decision, 29-28. Next up, so this is the co-main event, okay. Next up, the main event, Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. Guys, I'm actually pretty confident in this pick. Give me Israel Adesanya by round 2 KO. I actually do believe he's going to dominate Dricus Du Plessis in this fight. Go over to my TikTok. I have like 22K over there. I posted all my predictions for the fights on there. Link in the bio. Follow me on all socials. But I do think stylistically, Israel Adesanya gives so many problems to Dricus Du Plessis. His anti-grappling in wrestling, I do believe, will be enough in this fight. I know he's given up his back before against guys like Marvin Vettori, but, Marvin Vettori is Marvin Vettori. Izzy's not going to be a dumbass and just give up his back to Dricus Du Plessis. His ability to get to his feet, off of his back very quickly is really good. So I do believe his anti-grappling and wrestling will be enough. Dricus Du Plessis' entries aren't great. He's very, very sloppy on the feet. And I know this might be a hot take, but I do believe that Dricus Du Plessis isn't that great. His grappling and wrestling is good, sure, but it's not in Islam Makhachev, Ilia Topuria level. I think he heavily relies on his toughness and his strength. And against a guy who is so technical and is a sniper like Israel Adesanya, I don't see him, finding that much success in this fight. Is he going to find success on the feet? No. Izzy's faster than him. Sure, Dricus has a chin on him, but Izzy's probably got a better chin. I don't see Dricus landing in the pocket. Izzy's much faster, as I said. And the biggest thing for me in this fight is you could go back to Izzy's fight with Rob in the first fight. Adesanya was so aggressive inside the pocket, And I do believe he's going to implement that into his game a little bit more in this fight. I see him actually pushing forward because you see what Darren Till did to Dricus Du Plessis. He didn't allow himself to get backed up. Izzy's not a dumbass. He's not going to just get backed up by Dricus Du Plessis. I feel like Izzy's going to push forward. He's going to actually push the pace a little bit in this fight. He's going to be willing to open up and exchange inside the pocket against Dricus Du Plessis. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, contender Izzy is so dangerous. He's so dangerous. Yes, he is, but I don't think people are actually thinking it through. I actually believe we're going to get a contender Izzy in terms of the way he fights. He's going to be very, very active inside the pocket. He's going to be pushing the pace a little bit more. He's going to be more active in his strikes, throw more combinations. I know he will be a counter striker, but he will push the pace a little bit more. And I do believe he's going to catch Dricus Du Plessis inside the pocket with another one of those Israel Adesanya exchanges, like the Whitaker fight in the first fight, like the Paulo Costa fight. Dricus Du Plessis, he relies on his pace a lot, but Israel Adesanya's lateral movement is so good. I wouldn't be too surprised if Izzy's actually pushing the pace, and Dricus Du Plessis is backed up against the cage, and Izzy finds a knockout because Dricus tends to shell up a lot when his back is up against the cage, and against a sniper like Adesanya, I do believe he can find a shot to put Dricus away. As I said, Dricus is really sloppy on the feet. He throws a lot of body kicks without any strikes beforehand. His speed isn't anything to gloat over. I don't even know if that's the right terminology there, but he's not too fast. Sure, he has power, but Izzy's lateral movement is amazing. I don't think he should get caught against Dricus Du Plessis when his back is up against the cage. I see him trying to fight in the middle of the octagon, pushing the pace in terms of being willing to exchange inside the pocket. And I do believe, as one of the best counter strikers ever and one of the most dangerous guys inside the pocket we've seen in UFC history, I do believe Israel Adesanya is going to get it done in dominant fashion. I'm going to be completely honest. I think Izzy is on a whole nother level than Dricus Du Plessis. I know I'm fumbling over my words. I'm really having a hard time talking. I'm going to be fucking honest with you boys. So I do believe Israel Adesanya is going to be more aggressive in this fight. His anti-grappling and wrestling will be good enough, and I do believe he is going to knock out Dricus Du Plessis in the center of the octagon in one of those crazy exchanges. I know this might sound a little insane, but Israel Adesanya being a little bit more wild in this fight could actually benefit him, and that's what I've tried to been driving home this video, is that an aggressive Izzy inside the pocket gives Dricus a lot of problems. I know Dricus is a smart fighter, but I do believe Izzy is smarter. So for my official prediction, give me Israel Adesanya by round 2 TKO. They'll be trading in the pocket. He'll catch him with like a right hook or something crazy, and I'm down for it. I'm a big fan of Israel Adesanya. I think for myself, I don't just jump on trends, so I'm a big Izzy fan. I want to see him win in this fight, and I'm confident he gets it done. So let's run over my predictions one more time. So Li Jingliang versus Carlos Prates. Give me Carlos Prates by first round TKO. Tai Tuivasa versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike. Give me Jairzinho Rosenstrike by first round TKO. Mateusz Gamrot versus Dan Hooker. Give me Dan Hooker by round 2 TKO. Kai France versus Steve Erceg. Give me Kai France by decision. And Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. Give me Israel Adesanya by round 2 TKO. I think these fights on the main card are going to be absolute bangers. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Follow all my socials. Link will be in the description. Thank you for watching. Peace out.